Hey everyone, my name is Bill Tickner, and I'll be hiking from Mexico to Canada on the Pacific Crest Trail. So, what exactly is the Pacific Crest Trail? Well, it really is a trail from Mexico to Canada. It actually begins in Campo, California, just north of the US Mexican border, and it ends in Manning Park, British Columbia, just over the US Canadian border. It's 2,600 miles long approximately. So, why am I doing this? Well, there's really two reasons. The first, of course, is because I'm really excited to get out there and enjoy the wilderness and to take 4.5 months off to reflect on what I've done in my career and what I want to do. The second reason is to raise some money for a nonprofit that I'm really excited about and that I've worked with for 8 years. Um, the nonprofit is called Edge Youth Leadership. It used to be called Northern California Youth Leadership Seminar, but we changed the name recently. It's a great group, and I'll talk a little bit more about it. What is Edge Youth Leadership, and why am I supporting it? Well, Edge Youth Leadership is a 3-day seminar that develops leadership potential, cultivates communication skills, and really inspires community responsibility in high school sophomores. We primarily work with high school sophomores in California right now, and the way it works is we allow each school to send one student to the seminar free of charge. And we take these students through a long weekend of leadership training and activities. Ropes courses, speech writing classes, debates. So it's pretty great. We really aim to sharpen the skills of these students so that when they go back to their communities, they can be more impactful leaders. The second question I'm asked, after I'm asked how on earth did I decide to hike 2,600 miles from Mexico to Canada, but the second question I'm asked usually is, how did I get so into backpacking? And actually, it really goes back about 4 years ago. I was 29, and it was the first New Year's where I didn't go out and go to parties with friends. I actually woke up at 6 in the morning. I turned on my TV, and KQED turned on, and there was the documentary by Ken Burns on the National Park System. And if you haven't seen this, you really should. It's an amazing documentary. And what was so amazing about it to me was it was describing these national parks and the history behind them, and talked about a time when the forefathers of this country set aside special parcels of land in this country at a time when there was land everywhere. But they realized how special these places were and how connected it made people feel to their lives and to the world around them. And I thought, that's kind of a beautiful thing. And although I've always been an outdoorsy person, I've always been interested in outdoor activities. I've surfed since I was 9. I've been a snowboarder since college. Even though I've been an outdoors person, I haven't really been into backpacking. And when I saw these national parks on the documentary, it was interesting because there was a section on the Grand Canyon, and the Grand Canyon was a park I had been to before, and I remember not being that impressed by it when I went to it the first couple times. You go to the edge of the rim and you can see this massive canyon, but it almost doesn't look real. But this one expert in the Ken Burns documentary said that if you go to the Grand Canyon and you actually hike into the Grand Canyon down to the bottom, I think most people would assume that they would feel small. What this particular expert said was that what actually happens when people hike down to that canyon, they look up at the walls and the vastness of the scenery, they don't feel small, they feel like they're part of something bigger. And when she said that, it kind of sparked something in me. I remember thinking, I have felt that way when I'm hiking, beyond the car camping spots into the wilderness, so to speak. So I decided on that moment that I would, for my 30th birthday, plan a longer backpacking trip. I did a 16-day trip where I would actually get to see some of these parks and go beyond the viewing areas. And I did, and it was the best decision I probably had ever made in my life up to that point, because I just fell in love with backpacking. And ever since, I've been traveling to all sorts of different places. I've hiked the Lost Coast, which is in Northern California. I've hiked all over Big Sur. Big Sur is one of my favorite places in the world. Pico Blanco, Sykes Hot Spring, you name it, I've probably hiked it out there. I've done Zion National Park, the Grand Canyon, Bryce Canyon. So I've just been trying to go to as many places as possible. And now, this is a chance at the time in my career where I can take a brief pause, a brief 4.5-month pause, and really try to pursue my passion. So yeah. How did I get work to be okay with this? Well, I work for a great company. Google has been an amazing place for me to learn and grow over the past 8 years. And I came to Google back in 2006, and I think I love the company more now than I ever have, and not because they said yes to this crazy idea of mine, but because of the fact that my career has gotten more interesting and more challenging, the longer I've been here, and it's just provided a place for me to just constantly better myself. But anyway, how did I get Google to say yes to me on this trip? I went to them a year ago, a year in advance, and I said, look, next year, I'm going to hike the Pacific Crest Trail. I really want to do this, and I'd love your support. And I've been working with my manager and my director to make a plan for what's going to happen when I'm gone. And, eventually I did get approval. So besides the donations, and besides the words of encouragement, how can you get involved? How can you help with my trip? I'll be leaving April 24th. So today is March 25th, and I've got about a month left before I leave. I'll be sending out a lot of messages on Facebook before I go to get people excited. But essentially, what you can do, I'd love to have you guys follow along and find out where I am. And so just keep an eye out on Facebook for, I'll be sending links from my GPS device that you'll be able to click on in Facebook and see where I am and where I've been. So keep an eye out from those. Those come from my Delorme GPS device. I will be blogging. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what form that's going to take, but I will keep you all posted on that. So keep an eye out for that as well. Some folks want to send letters and other things. A couple of points on that. I'm all about letters. I'm all about food, as far as things you can send me on the trail. And I will post a list of places that I'll be stopping with addresses. However, please don't send me anything that, like any kind of gifts that I won't be able to take with me. Really, I will have a resupply box at each of these places that I've already prepared for myself. So really, don't feel compelled to, or the need to send me anything crazy. But I've heard stories of people receiving things like a Hershey's Kiss, in the mail. And when you've hiked 100 miles to get from one place to the next, sometimes a Hershey's Kiss tastes really good. So anyway, I just want to put it out there that I won't be able to take much with me from those mail drop locations. So just keep that in mind. But letters and postcards, things like that, those are all good. And yeah, I'll let you guys know what places you can send these things to. Thanks.